Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you are inspired to do something, you feel led by God to do something, and you think, I do not know how I'm going to make it happen, but I know that I have to do it, right? Haven't we all done that? Somebody says, hey, can you help me with something? Would you sign up for this? Can you show up for that? And you say, oh yeah, I'll do it. And then you think, what was I thinking? But you know that you have to. Well, it's way opening that helps us. Somehow the way will be made clear to me. In the life of our spiritual community, we are preparing for a new senior minister. And we don't know who it will be, but we do know that somebody is coming. Somebody is on the way. When we don't know, when we feel out of control, here's what happens to me. I don't know about you guys, but I want to make a plan. You know, I want to take a little bit of control. No, I want to take all the control. Right? I want to be in charge, and I'm going to make a list, and I'm going to tell everybody what we're going to do. And of course, it doesn't always work. So I don't know about you, but I can think of the times when I thought I was in charge, and then when I really realized that I wasn't. The Quakers had the right idea, a deep trust in the divine order of things, that if we really do believe in a gracious God, if we really don't just pay that lip service, but we live our faith, then we can acknowledge that, yes, sometimes I am afraid. Sometimes I am afraid. And I can turn within to the wisdom of God that's inside of me. The way to an answer is opening now. Wait on the Lord. To me, the right outworking of the Holy Spirit is absolutely unreasonable, illogical, unbelievable, and miraculous. Right? I can't figure it out by myself. To live by faith means we do our homework using the information that we have around us. It's not like, you know, you sit back and do your nails and watch Oprah. You know, we all have to do the work that we have to do. And then we rest because we know that the way is opening. And God will make it clear to us what it will be. A few months ago, we talked about the needs of our sisters and brothers in Haiti. I don't know if you remember that Sunday, but we talked about, you know, what can we do? And we made a little list out in front. You know, how can we contribute to such a huge need, a big situation? And I told you about my colleagues at hospice. There were some nurses and a pharmacist who were planning to go. They decided, they signed up, they said, yes, I'm going, and how on earth am I going to do this? And I told you in particular about Helen, the pharmacist, because I just love her enthusiasm and her absolute commitment and drive and knowing that God was calling her to go to Haiti. She wasn't sure how she was going to get there or even what she would do when she got there. I said, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a pharmacist? Who are you going to be when you get there? She said, I don't know. I'm just going. But she was open that God would make the way clear. So you, my spiritual community here, sent aspirin and Band-Aids and baby formula, and my colleagues at hospice made it there and came back. And this morning, I want to introduce you to Helen, a witness to God's way opening in her life and in the people of Haiti, and she's going to come up and tell you about it, just as you requested. Helen Chong.
Really high. Hello. So I work with Sherry at Franciscan Hospice. Actually, this is really high. Sorry, Sherry.
That's okay.
I'm going to fall over. Perfect. Thank you. That's good.
Okay.
Now I'm really low. And a lot of you guys don't know me probably, so I'm just going to kind of go over how I got to the place that I got to and how I went to Haiti. I've been Christian pretty much my whole life, but I don't feel like I really got a sense of who God was and God's power and His will for me until maybe the past couple of years, 3 years or so. And for the past year, I've been struggling with this restlessness in my heart, and I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't alleviated by anything I did, you know, going to church, meeting up with my friends, going to work. So I remember back before pharmacy school, you know, I told God, I was like, God, if I get into pharmacy school, I'm going to use my profession for more than myself and to better my own family. And so I think that's where He was calling me to go. And my heart was to do medical mission work. And a lot of people around me knew that about me. So one day, one of our nurses, our triage nurse, asked me, Helen, I'm going to go to Haiti. So do you want to go? And I was like, okay. So I didn't even have any, reservation. I just said, all right. But then all of the concerns started to flow through. One, will my boss let me off? But my boss is so chill. He's just like, yeah, go ahead. Don't worry about it. And then, it was just within a month that all of this was planned. And sorry if I get really excited. My hands will flow all over the place. But and also, then another concern I had was the financial concern, because we had to support and raise all the money ourselves. But my friends and people I didn't know, there's anonymous donations, and God provides. You just have to ask. And so that was good. And then the whole dangers of going to Haiti because of the earthquake, and the jails were all toppled and criminals were all over the streets. And somebody just sent me an email 4 days before I left that a lot of the Haitians were getting raped down there. And then I read up on how Americans were kidnapped. And so I was like, maybe this is not a good idea. So then also just the concern of inadequacy. What am I going to do down there? Like Sherry said, I'm a pharmacist. I've given many shots, like thousands of shots at, Safeway and Fred Meyer's. And I've only hit bone a couple times. So I was pretty good. But still, I had a bit of a concern of what I was going to do as a pharmacist. Do they really need a pharmacist down there? So I just said, you know what, this is where my heart was there, and I felt as though I had to go there. So I just threw up my hands and I said, God, you take care of everything. So everything was taken care of before I went. And, my friends were a little concerned, so they bought me pepper spray and a whistle just in case. So I got there, and I was really welcomed with open arms. So I was also provided this quote by one of our social workers, and it was by Barbara Johnson, so I'm just going to read that to you. And it really encouraged me right before I left. It says, I don't have to figure out why or how or when. God has a plan, and I'm committed to it. That commitment frees me from having to worry about the details. And so I was supposed to be there, so I just went. And honestly, the people of Haiti are truly amazing people. They have so much joy for their nation, the people in Haiti, and also just for the Lord. And granted, I was in more of a Christian community because we were staying at the pastor house, the compound. His name is Pastor Terry, and it's through Light Ministries. And just a little background, after the earthquake happened, Light Ministries kind of came in and opened up a clinic, and 1,000 people came to the Lord right after the earthquake. There was a 3-day fast and prayer. So that's pretty amazing in a nation that pretty much practices voodoo for years and years and years. And so what we did there, just a little background about the nurses and the pharmacists and the paramedics that actually went there, we held a clinic that is typically closed if there's no medical team down there. And I actually did act as a pharmacist, because there's a table about this long full of medications that were just dumped on there, and there's no organization. And the nurses, we didn't have a doctor with us, so the nurses acted like doctors, and they would assess the patients. And then they didn't know which medications to provide, so then they would come to me. So every 3 minutes, they would ask me, what kind of medication would you treat for this disease, and what was the dose? And so I felt extremely exhausted, to the point where I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. It's 99 degrees out here, and we saw about 180 patients per day, 720 patients during the 6 days we were there. So I was like, God, I can't do this. But you need to find joy in the struggles that you go through. And so I prayed, and I was like, God, give me some joy, and let me be, my normal self again tomorrow, and let me not be frustrated. And God made me my giddy self again the next day. So I was thankful, and you just need to ask. And so definitely I feel like the people of Haiti convicted me and challenged me way more than I blessed them, I feel as though. And now I have this fire in my heart that I'm praying won't die, but I think the only way it won't die is if I continue to serve him in this way. So, if you plan on, wanting to go on medical missions, we are planning on going again soon, hopefully October next year. And, just talking to the people of Haiti, we worship with them and we prayed with them, and just their hearts are so on fire, and their whole lives just revolve around God. Because I would ask them, so what do you want to do when you get older? And they're just like, whatever God wants me to do. Where do you want to go? Wherever God takes me. And so it was truly amazing. And I feel as though I had more fun down there. And the more you get to know me, the more you'll know there's like a big bullseye, make fun of Helen Chong. And so they would constantly just make fun of me, and we would just have such a great time.